Welcome back to Mind Map with Sid and Sam. Today we're talking about something a lot of people mention, but few really understand: borderline personality disorder, or BPD.
Yeah. And like always, quick disclaimer before we begin, we're not psychologists or psychiatrists, we're just learners. We read, listen to experts, talk to people who've lived these experiences, and then share our understanding. Think of this as awareness, not diagnosis.
Perfect. Let's dig in.
So, BPD stands for borderline personality disorder. The term borderline originally came from old psychiatry. Doctors thought it was on the borderline between neurosis and psychosis. But now we understand it better. It's mainly about emotional regulation, identity, and relationships. People with BPD often feel emotions way more intensely than most. Imagine if you felt joy, love, anger, or fear on full volume and it switched fast. That's kind of what it's like.
Like living without an emotional filter.
Exactly. One person described it as having no emotional skin, every feeling hits raw. For example, imagine someone says, "I'll call you later." For most people, that's casual. For someone with BPD, it might trigger panic. Are they avoiding me? Did I do something wrong? That fear can spiral quickly, leading to real distress. At the core of BPD is a deep fear of abandonment and a shaky sense of identity. So you might see patterns like forming intense attachments really fast, then pulling away hard when they feel threatened.
That "I love you" divided by "I hate you" dynamic?
Exactly. Psychologists call it splitting. It's when someone sees people or situations as all good or all bad. There's no middle ground. Let's say someone with BPD is dating. If their partner forgets to text, they might think, "You don't care about me." But if the partner suddenly sends a sweet message, it flips to, "You're perfect. I love you." It's not manipulation, it's emotional survival. They feel safest when things are clear and certain, and rejection, even imagined, can feel unbearable.
That sounds exhausting, both for the person and those around them.
Yeah. And underneath it all is fear. They don't want to hurt people, they just fear being left. And when that fear hits, logic shuts off, and emotions take the wheel. Let's go through the 9 DSM-5 symptoms, but in real-world terms. 1. Fear of abandonment. Even short separations can feel like betrayal. Example: a friend cancels plans, and suddenly it feels like rejection. 2. Unstable relationships. Intense, fast attachments, then sudden breakups. Example: meeting someone and thinking they're my soulmate after a week, then later feeling they're the worst person ever. 3. Unclear or unstable self-image. Not sure who they are, what they want. One day, they want to be a musician. Next day, a teacher. The self keeps shifting with mood or relationships. 4. Impulsivity. Acting quickly without thinking. Example: shopping sprees, reckless driving, binge eating, or risky sex when feeling empty. 5. Self-harm or suicidal thoughts, often used as a way to cope with overwhelming emotions, not necessarily to die, but to feel something different. 6. Extreme mood swings. Emotions changing within hours, like being on top of the world in the morning and feeling broken by evening. 7. Chronic feelings of emptiness, like there's a hole inside that nothing fills, not relationships, not work, not hobbies. 8. Intense anger, sometimes over small things, because anger covers up pain or fear. 9. Stress-related paranoia or dissociation. In moments of stress, reality can feel fuzzy or detached.
So it's not just emotions, it's identity, behavior, relationships, everything.
Yeah. It's a full system experience, not just being dramatic, which is the worst myth about it. The causes aren't black and white either. Research says it's a mix of biological sensitivity and environmental trauma. Some people are born more emotionally sensitive. If they grow up in a home where feelings are ignored or punished, like being told, "Don't cry," or "You're overreacting," they never learn emotional safety. That's called an invalidating environment.
So even small trauma can hit harder if you're already sensitive.
Exactly. And big trauma like abuse, neglect, or loss can make that sensitivity even more painful. But again, not everyone with trauma develops BPD. It's more like certain genes and experiences meet in a way that wires the brain to respond differently to emotion and attachment.
Is it treatable, though?
Yeah. The old idea was that BPD couldn't be treated, but that's outdated. With the right therapy, recovery is real. The most effective therapy is dialectical behavior therapy, DBT. It was actually designed for BPD. It teaches skills in 4 areas: mindfulness, staying present, emotional regulation, distress tolerance, and interpersonal effectiveness. There's also schema therapy and mentalization-based therapy, which help people understand their emotions and relationships better.
So it's more about learning control, not fixing the person.
Exactly. And people can improve dramatically. Many eventually lose the diagnosis altogether, meaning they've learned to manage emotions, build steady relationships, and find peace.
What if someone's close to a person with BPD, like a partner or family member?
That's a good question. The first rule is compassion, without losing yourself. Understand that their reactions come from fear, not malice. But also, you can't save them. They have to work on themselves, too. Practical tips. Don't match their emotions, stay calm when they're overwhelmed. Don't take things personally during emotional outbursts. Set consistent boundaries and keep them. Encourage therapy gently, not forcefully. Example: if your partner with BPD says, "You don't care about me," instead of arguing, you could say, "I do care. I think you're just feeling hurt right now. Let's talk when things calm down."
So empathy with firmness.
Yeah. BPD relationships can be incredibly deep and passionate, but they need structure and self-awareness from both sides.
This was really eye-opening. Any final thoughts, Sid?
Just this: if you relate to what we talked about, don't panic. Having some traits doesn't mean you have BPD. And if you do, it's not your fault, and it's not hopeless. You're not broken. Your emotions are just louder than most people's, and with help, you can learn the volume control.
Beautifully said.
And remember, compassion both for others and for yourself goes a long way.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Map with Sid and Sam. If this helped you understand BPD a little better, share it with someone who might need to hear it. We'll see you next week when we dive into narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. See you then.